In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how small creators are earning big money during the holidays and a few new opportunities on YouTube and Amazon Influencer and the Amazon Associates program. I've been doing Amazon Associates and YouTube for years, and the fourth quarter of the year has always been my moneymaker. But I would always get very intentional right now and create a content calendar and get strategic about my uploads, whether you're established or even just getting started in content creation. I'm excited to welcome Kathleen Kobel back to the podcast. And this is actually part 3 of a series really we've been doing. So check out the show notes to check out part 1 and 2, because you may have some questions that were already answered about getting approved quickly for, say, the Amazon Influencer program and some other things like that. But today we're really going to be getting tactical. In fact, there's 7 big ideas and strategies that Kathleen has as it pertains to really maximizing the holiday season with some of these money-making opportunities. But Kathleen, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Sean. I'm really excited. Q4 is one of the best times to be a content creator. So I can't wait to talk about all this stuff with you.
Yeah, and I actually want to hear your big idea of why you would say that. And I want to start with a brief story of my experience. You know, Kathleen's really our resident expert on-site Amazon influencer commissions and things like that, which is basically making videos, uploading to Amazon. But she's also active on YouTube. And for me, I've been doing Amazon Associates and YouTube for years. And the fourth quarter of the year has always been my moneymaker. When I was working full-time, and actually my salary was well below the cost of living in Irvine, California as a campus pastor, my YouTube side hustle really helped support our family from ranking YouTube videos and doing Amazon affiliates. But I would always get very intentional right now and create a content calendar and get strategic about my uploads. Kathleen, I'm curious for you, your experience over the past couple of years. What is it about the end of the year and even New Year's that you see as such an opportunity? And what's been your experience in terms of even the money you've made?
Yeah, very similar experience to you, Sean. Q4 is just, with my background of being in Amazon, we always see sales spikes in Q4. Holiday shopping season, people are buying stuff for each other, they're buying stuff for their homes, and it really kind of extends from October all the way through. I really kind of count through January, because if you think, in Amazon terms, people are buying stuff, but they're then also returning things. They have gift cards, right? So you can kind of even extend that into January. And these are the 4 months that are really exciting, because people are on Amazon, they're shopping, they're buying more than they probably have throughout the whole rest of the year. And so this is my favorite time to be creating content, because this is really when it counts and really when those customers are purchasing.
Well, I'm excited to get into your 7 kind of big strategies for maximizing earnings with Amazon influencers. And I think we can tie a lot of these into YouTube, which will be my contribution. But let's hit number 1, plan a Q4 content calendar. Break this down.
Yeah, so this is so crucial, because that saying, like, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So if you're not taking advantage and really planning ahead for Q4, it can be, you're missing opportunities when, if you're like, well, what should I post today? Or, what should I post next week? Whereas if you just take a little time and plan out a Q4 content calendar, not only can you batch and create, not necessarily every day, but now you're really focused and you're very intentional on the content that you're creating, which really comes across in the quality of your videos, I think. So mapping out those key dates is really important, especially knowing things like, when is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holiday sales that Amazon has and that all the other retailers have too. These are really important dates to know. And if you're a creator and you're not anticipating these dates, you're kind of just leaving money on the table.
Yeah, that's genius. One of my favorite tools as well is using Google Trends. This is going to apply especially to web search, but also you can select YouTube search and you can look 12 months back and see what we would call tentpole marketing. Like if you were going to make something around Halloween, if you want your video to really like hit the algorithm, you want to get it out ahead of Halloween, and it may be October 15th instead of, obviously the day before. And so similarly, even Black Friday, you may not be able to actually create the content until that day when sales go live. In some cases, if we're now expanding out to maybe live streaming or YouTube, but you also might be able to give some pre-tips or some pre-advice and ride the wave of the tent pole. And the big idea is that search and interest might not start when you think it does. And so using the tool Google Trends, which is free, you can start planning out that arc. And then also, I think this ties right into to family and other priorities, because I think there's an anxiousness we can feel like, oh, there's opportunity and I want to get videos done or content done. I want to upload videos to Amazon, YouTube, but also I got so much going on. To me, it's like I got to get in a mindset of that much more organization, that much more prioritization. Because if I plan ahead, okay, well, if I batch here and there's a little bit of time here, maybe say no to that appointment over there, talk to my spouse, oh, maybe we're not going to go to that party, or that is coming up, maybe I can shoot this day. With more strategic planning right now, which is definitely what you're saying, this also can help you maintain sanity, honor your family and commitments, but also really maximize and seize as much opportunity as you can financially and around the holidays. How do you think about some of that stuff for you when you're balancing family and you're thinking about your content calendar, and any other final tips on this one?
Definitely. That is a huge thing in that, as an Amazon seller, and when I had my big agency and everything, people would always say like, oh, you're going to take time off for the holidays and all that, around Thanksgiving. And I joke with them because the Black Friday, Cyber Monday is like the biggest sale days in the Amazon space, right? And so I joke with them, I take no time off, right? But now being a content creator, it's so much nicer because I can pre-plan, I can make my content, I can record and edit and get my videos and my photos ready so that I can still post in those critical times and on those critical days if needed. But I'm creating the content before. So now I actually am sitting at home with my family the day after Christmas, or I'm sorry, the day after Thanksgiving, watching Amazon, but I'm not actually creating and saying, sorry guys, mommy has to go into her office now.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And I want to honor the climb, because I definitely know that's like me. Usually I go live day after Thanksgiving, maybe a couple times, and I might do real time sales. But to your point, I like getting ahead. And so sometimes there's a sacrifice season, you're talking to your spouse, figuring it out. And I've definitely worked that weekend intensely in the past, and still do in some cases. And sometimes that's a conversation, because I've noticed, mid-December, things start slowing down, especially towards later December, because now it's a little too late for things to ship, or people's, the momentum. So why not plan out? You look ahead and you're like, we can maybe create real margin during a time where there's, less intensity right around that Christmas time. But then also know that, and even our team, Think Media team, it's like, yeah, of course, Thanksgiving's off, but like Black Friday, we're not like going 4-day weekend here. Usually we call it Think Media Tech season, I think these days. And we have like a holiday gift guide, because for that very reason, it's like, this is kind of our Super Bowl, if depending on your niche. And I think that's an interesting conversation as well. Well, let's hit number 2, optimize your Amazon storefront. So give us high level, what is an Amazon storefront? And then what are some of your practical tips? Do you want to escape the 9-to-5, but feel like YouTube success requires millions of views and viral videos? Well, think again, because we are hosting a 1-day intensive online workshop revealing the shortest path to real income on YouTube, even with a small audience. It's called YouTube Money Secrets. And during this live virtual event, you'll learn how to pick high-paying video topics, master new opportunities in affiliate marketing, and even attract high-paying clients. If you go to tubemoneysecrets.com, you can get all of the details and grab your ticket. This is a no-fluff event packed with tactical information and an accompanying workbook so that you can implement these strategies right away. Plus, I'm also going to be sharing my most lucrative video secrets to show you how to get your channel monetized fast. And the timing of this event is highly strategic, because the fourth quarter of the year, as well as New Year's itself, is the most perfect time to ride the wave of online shopping and maximize your YouTube earnings. Limited spots are available, so go to tubemoneysecrets.com to register for this powerful virtual event.
Sure. So your Amazon storefront is basically where all of your content lives that you upload to Amazon for the on-site program. This includes, your shoppable videos, your shoppable photos. If you're going live, it'll show up there. But one feature that I really love, especially around the holiday season, is the idea list and the curations. And that allows you to pull together these lists of items, whether it's, the top holiday decor or the top 10 gifts for him, right? Things like that, where you can pull together these lists of things, make it really easy for Amazon customers to not only find them on your storefront, but if you're promoting outside on YouTube and social media, it just makes it so much easier to kind of bring these compilations of items together so that you can better serve your audience and at the same time make more money, because ideally they're going to buy more than one thing on your list.
That's really good. And you have a couple other tips. You talk about using eye-catching banners and also promote bundles and sets. Break those down.
Yeah, so using banners now, so Amazon actually took away the banner feature on our storefront. So
Mm.
I guess I would more say thumbnails. So really just making sure that you're creating these eye-catching thumbnails so that when you're in competition with the other shoppable photos and shoppable videos on Amazon, that people are going to be more likely to click yours. And I do recommend going back and doing this for even some of your older videos, especially the ones that performed well last Q4, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. But then as far as promoting bundles and sets, it's kind of the same thing, same idea as your ideal lists, right? Where you can say, here's a bundle of things that I use. Here's everything I use for my holiday wrapping station, right? And encourage people and show them how to use it all, and then make it really easy for them to access and be able to buy.
You're our Amazon on-site commission expert. I did not know about thumbnails. Can you upload custom thumbnails on all videos that you upload to Amazon, vertical and horizontal?
Yes, you sure can.
And can you upload separate thumbnails? I guess the way that your homepage of your storefront looks, if you just curate a list of things, do you have the ability to create a custom image, or is it just going to be little snapshots of the items in the group?
So, yeah, if you're doing the idea list or the curations, you can decide which particular item you want to be kind of first. And so you place that one first, and that becomes your thumbnail for that idea list or curation. And that's when you have more than one thing. But if you're doing a shoppable video, you very much can upload a custom thumbnail. And the only bad thing is that Amazon doesn't really give us any data, but you can still test it, right? And see, did my video perform better this week or the week before, based on if you're doing a thumbnail test.
I want to encourage listeners, if you say, well, I don't have an Amazon storefront yet, and I'm not approved for the Amazon Influencer Program. I maybe only have Amazon Associates. Those are two different things. And we did cover that in a different episode. So check out the link in the show notes to watch that past episode, because Kathleen did share some ways to really accelerate how quickly you can get approved for the Amazon Influencer Program. So check that previous episode out in the show notes. But number 3 is leverage social media for off-site commissions. So on-site commissions is this big idea that you can upload videos to Amazon. If somebody consumes a portion of that video and makes a purchase, you're now earning affiliate commissions just from Amazon itself. If you didn't have a YouTube channel, perhaps that's how you got approved, or other social media accounts. But theoretically, this is not because you're posting anywhere else. It's not because you're offsite at all. It's literally all on Amazon, from the things people are searching, from the videos they're discovering. It's a massive opportunity. But offsite then would be really what I've done over the years. And that would be the fact that your link is on a blog, or your link is in a link tree on your social media, or your link is in your YouTube description. So tip number 3 is leverage social media for offsite commissions. Break down some of your strategies for this.
Yeah, so I'll be the first to say that I'm not a huge participant when it comes to social media. However, during Q4 is the time. Q4 is the time where I really find that my time and my effort does tend to pay off, especially if we compare it to the rest of the year. So I like to do things like make sure that I'm talking about any sort of holiday promotions. You have to be careful when you're talking about pricing if there is a promotion going on, but especially when you're promoting offsite on your social media channels or your YouTube, you can talk about the promotions that Amazon has, as long as you then go remove any sort of pricing later on after the promotion is over. But there's so many different promotions going on over the holiday season. Pick the ones that make the most sense for you to promote and that you think your audience would love, and run with it. And, kind of going along with that is try to engage with your followers, right? Ask them what they want. Some of the top social media people that make the most with their offsite Amazon earnings are the ones that just simply ask their audience, what do you want? Do you want a list of the top, holiday gifts for kids that are 10 years old? You can get as niche as you want because somebody's going to want to see that list.
Yeah, that's genius. And I like you mentioned in the notes we're collaborating on here, we're so big on YouTube, the ability to rank videos. YouTube is a search engine. One of the things that gets under talked about in our community is Pinterest. Pinterest is also a search engine to kind of a unique degree, and especially in certain niches. And you can have these pins that really could drive traffic. That's a big one. TikTok, Instagram. It's interesting too. I want to throw in the ring YouTube shopping. And YouTube shopping really, I should say this, YouTube shopping connected to YouTube Shorts is a strategy we're taking very seriously right now. YouTube Shorts has almost completely shut down the opportunity to make any money on Amazon. It's not that it's impossible, but almost, because there's no clickable links in the pinned comment, no clickable links in the description. There's almost no way you could get traffic there. And really the reason why they did that was it would seem that YouTube, it's not that they're anti-Amazon, but they're definitely not collaborating. Amazon is not a part of their affiliate program or programs and offering. Saying that, Walmart, Adorama Camera, niche tech brands, all kinds of different brands are at all kinds of commission rates, anywhere from 1 or 2% to 15 to 25%. And the best way to integrate with that would be YouTube Shorts, strategically connected to YouTube shopping. We've been starting to see great results with this at Think Media, and we're going deeper. It's kind of maybe a rabbit trail, but just to throw out there that at certain seasons, different ways to drive traffic. Obviously, TikTok has their own shopping. And so I think that at times, maybe I'm curious your take on this. When you think about offsite commissions, sometimes I think people struggle because they're like, I'm making content, but like it's not working. And sometimes that's because like it wouldn't be the best way to do it. It'd be like, I'm posting YouTube Shorts, but I'm not making any Amazon affiliate commissions. You're like, for sure, because like they don't let you have clickable links, and moving people from that environment to the other environment wouldn't probably work. I'm curious on TikTok, because you're pretty familiar with TikTok. They also want you to shop on TikTok itself, right? As opposed to going to Amazon, yet there is some collaborations there. Can you kind of break down strategy and thinking around this?
Yeah, I think you do need to be somewhat careful, right? When you're on some of these other platforms. TikTok, there was a whole period of time where people were, directing people to Amazon from TikTok, and TikTok was just shutting down their accounts, saying, no, we don't like that. And they would just get rid of their accounts. There now is some collaboration with TikTok and with Amazon. It still isn't necessarily, I still wouldn't directly be posting my Amazon links on TikTok. But I will say TikTok Shop for creators has a whole bunch of the same stuff or very similar things that are on Amazon as well. So you can kind of get creative. And one of the things that I really like to do, especially if I'm posting offsite, is repurpose my content from Amazon onto these other platforms. And so, especially when I'm going onto TikTok, if the item is available in TikTok Shop, that's where I'm going to have my link there. So, I'm not necessarily always posting back to Amazon, but I am still utilizing my Amazon content to still have a different, income stream other than just the on-site commission.
That right there is a big tip, Think Media Podcast. And almost universally in social media, you might call it be native to the platform, which would mean think about what the platform wants most and then maximize that. And I would agree. What YouTube Shorts wants most is to integrate with YouTube shopping, and what TikTok wants most is to integrate with TikTok shopping. But there's some genius strategy if you have a video about a product that perhaps exists on all three, and you have a vertical video. Now that YouTube Shorts is going to 3 minutes, I'm not sure. There's not a time limit on Amazon, right?
Nope.
So, and then TikTok's like 10. So if you were making vertical videos 3 or less minutes and maybe optimized at 90 seconds, whatever's necessary, you now have a vertical video asset that could be uploaded to Amazon, that could be uploaded to YouTube Shorts, link to YouTube shopping, uploaded to TikTok, like just link to TikTok shopping. And it sounds like a lot, but hence tip number one, plan your content calendar, think through it strategically. And we're getting very geeky here, but I hope you're getting value from this episode of the podcast. Let's hit number 4, collaborate with brands for sponsored content. Break this down.
Yes. So there's never been a better time, right? I know I say this all the time, but this is when brands are really looking for influencers is during Q4 because they know their sales are about to skyrocket. And so they're looking for any way that they can possibly continue to make sure that their sales are going to skyrocket, right? So you can go seek out these partnerships. You can, I always say, once you start posting your content on YouTube and off Amazon, the brands and the sellers just kind of come to you. So keep doing that because it's just going to open you up to more doors and more possibilities with partnerships, for not only, working with some campaigns with them, but also for getting free items to test out, for getting paid up front for your content in order to then create and repurpose on all these different platforms, right? And a lot of these brands have specific holiday content, right? Or they have specific holiday themes that they want you to be talking about. So I would really look out for those different collaborations and make sure that you are open and checking your promotions folder and checking your DMs because you may not always see those when you get messages directly from some of these brands.
Number 5 is optimize shoppable videos. Break that down.
So this is really important. And I know we are about to get really geeky here, Sean, but so I always talk about optimizing your shoppable videos because as we talked about, in the beginning of the episode here, I have 3 kids, I have multiple businesses, right? So if only I could work on my business 20 hours a day, that'd be fantastic, but it's just not realistic. And I always am looking for ways to maximize my time. And so optimizing my shoppable videos is critical. It's a critical part of my strategy because what I like to do is update the existing content by looking at the analytics from last Q4, from last year. And if some of you guys are like, well, I didn't do this last year, look for the last 30 days, right? What were your top performers? What were your top viewed videos? And what can you learn from these 2 things in order to then move forward with better content, but then also to optimize your existing content? And whether that's testing out a new thumbnail, trying a new title, you can do both of those things very easily on Amazon, making sure that your top performing videos are still linked to that product listing page is a huge one. Instead of going to create 10 new videos, if you just update one of your top performing products, it gets back on the carousel, you're probably going to make a lot more money than just making, 10 more random videos and you're not really sure how they're going to work out.
Yeah. And drafting off of this point, this is equally true for YouTube at a massive level for any established creator. I think on this checklist that Kathleen is delivering for us, optimize your older strategic videos. They might be able to be cleaned up in terms of their discoverability, titles, thumbnails. Links could be broken in them, and any videos that are maybe getting real-time traffic or that you re-promote can prepare for you to maximize on content you've already created. There's something about also, once you've done that, share it on your community tab, and you can kind of get a little bit, even if it's a very small amount of a boost of traffic. If the video has updated relevancy, you send it a couple of views, a couple hundred of views, and then the algorithm takes over once you've re-optimized the video. And then there's also a strategy we love here would be, we call it content marathons. It's almost like calling it a compilation. And sometimes you could take videos from the past and stitch them together without going too far down this rabbit trail. There's this massive wave of people watching more content that's longer form on televisions. People have decision fatigue on YouTube, so they want to just pick a video and watch longer. And so sometimes if you were to make a compilation of previous videos, perhaps polished up and edited, like, for example, we might make a deep dive video. One that's coming up is on home offices, like home office ideas, which people might start spending money on at the end of the year, as well as in January. And we would take one video of ideas under 1,000 and an older video. They'd be like my video that might be like a year and a half old, 2 years old, but it's still relevant and it's still exactly the home office I'm in. Then that's added to this newer video, and then another video from earlier in the year, stitch those together one question that always comes up is, isn't YouTube's terms you can't duplicate videos correct? But this is a new video because it's stitched together. It's longer, hacking the algorithm and watch time, but it's also it's going to be polished a little bit. Maybe parts edited out, maybe something else is edited out, and maybe I host the update, which is the plan on our content calendar. So like a fresh hook, a transition between them. The big idea is optimize your old content now and get it ready for Q4 and Q1 so that you can work smarter, not harder, especially if you're working full time right now or you got kids, you got a family, and you're trying to make it to those holiday parties. You got to be smart. Anything else under optimized shoppable videos?
I think just one other thing is that when you're going back and looking at your analytics, kind of similar to what you said, Sean, you can create compilation videos like that for Amazon too. You can do those, work pretty well on Inspire if you want to go back and look at, say, like your top 10 items that you were earning well on. But another thing too is that, same with Amazon, right? You can't upload a duplicate video, but Amazon actually encourages you to make a second or even a third video on a product that you've already created videos for. And so you can go back to your analytics and say, what are my top 10 performing products? I'm going to make a second video. And especially if you want to gear it towards a holiday theme, then it becomes super relevant and you're giving an update. 1 year later, here's how this mattress held up. And if you're looking for one to maybe gift your husband or wife this year because they've been complaining about how much, how they need more sleep, right? You can kind of, put that all into a video, and that's going to sell really well on Amazon too.
Genius. Number 6 is utilize Amazon's promotions and deals. Break it down.
Yeah. So I don't want people to overlook this opportunity because Amazon will send you emails saying, here's a list of all the deals that are coming up. They have lists from their sellers ahead of time. Sellers have to submit this months before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Amazon will sometimes share those with us. And so I want you to make sure that you're just staying on the up and up with those items, especially that you've already created content for on Amazon that are then going to be on sale. Because it's just going to be so much easier to then share those on your social media or make a second video, to put on, say, YouTube, just talking about like, hey, these are the top 10 items that are on sale this holiday season, right? And things like that. So look to those promotions, those lightning deals. Amazon's always talking about, their top rated items, their movers and shakers. So just make sure that you look out for those alerts from Amazon and that you participate in those promotions whenever you can.
That is a genius tip. And then number 7 is diversify content platforms.
Yeah, so I guess we kind of already touched on this, but really looking towards, really repurposing your content. And so when you create a shoppable video, there's so many different things you can do with it. You can expand it into a blog post, right? You can create a transcript and you can post that video and you can link, your Amazon affiliate link there. You can also go the opposite route and you can condense it down and make it much shorter to share on social. If you want to put it up on TikTok or on Instagram Reels or something like that. But the purpose is that you're expanding into these different content platforms so that instead of just getting paid once for your video or your shoppable photo on Amazon, now you have the potential to get paid like 4, 5, 6 different ways from the one piece of content that you've already created.
Yeah, such a great tip, and thinking smarter and not just working harder as we really maximize the holidays. Now, you have a program, Influence and Earn, the Amazon Creator Success System. And I want anyone listening to this that is serious and really sees this opportunity, specifically of your expertise of earning money directly from on-site commissions from the Amazon Influencer Program and strategically connected to off-site opportunities as well. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about sharing your program with our community is it's the perfect complement, even for like our students, VRA. Like if you are creating YouTube content already and mastering the art of video creation and understanding our 7R system, it's in a way an entirely different thing to be over on Amazon, but so complementary. And so for some listening, I really want them, if you want kind of just the fast track and you understand the value of wisdom and investing in yourself, you could check out Kathleen's program and we'll link that up in the show notes. But you also have a couple cool things like what's coming up on your calendar in regards to the things you do monthly and the things that you're teaching inside of like the group aspect of your program?
Yeah, so I'm really excited because we are doing a whole push for Q4. I've actually just posted our brand new training, which is all about how to monetize your content and be posting offsite Amazon. This was a highly requested video and training from people within the program. You know, we always talk about onsite, but like we've been talking about here with Q4, there's just never been a better time to work smarter, not harder, by repurposing that content and very strategically, right? Planning ahead with your content calendar, repurposing your content, but ideally just making as much money as you possibly can over Q4, because this is when we're seeing those big sales coming in, basically from October through January. And so every month for the rest of the year, we have a different training. And this month is all about offsite. And then we're going to do one all about content creation. We have one just for holiday promotions and marketing. And so, I don't call it, I call it a course because it's just like kind of the old way that I would talk about it, but it's really a program because we do monthly Q&A calls. We have a private Facebook group. And so it's been really, really cool to see all the success stories from people and people just, doing the things that are in the training, making money, and then being able to come back and say, hey, this worked. And then also helping the rest of the community with some tips and some pointers that they've learned along the way. So we're constantly learning and growing together and supporting each other. But Q4, we have some really cool content coming up that's going to help people make hopefully a lot more money for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I love that. And it kind of reminds me, I'll never forget 2014, I was living in Irvine, California with my wife and our two chihuahuas, no kids at the time. We're living in an apartment. We had moved from Vegas to be a part of to be campus pastor at a church that was remote. And so had a lot of duties, like 50 hours a week of my day-to-day responsibilities. And then I was trying to earn side income. And what's crazy is that I just looked at the recent figures, but to live comfortably in Irvine, California, the salary you need to make is about $126,000 a year. It's one of the highest cost of living places. And we found ourselves living in this apartment, and our church salary was about $72,000 a year. And what they did was they did make me an official pastor clergy so that I could, I don't know, I forget, opt out of Social Security so I could get a housing allowance. The point being that tax-wise, I was making more like 80. The problem was I still had a delta of about $46,000 to live comfortably in this area. And it was one of the biggest motivations to earn extra money on the side. But this is why at that exact time, mindset wise, I would always be thinking about, okay, with my day off, with my time off, how can I create some different videos? How can I strategically think about ways to earn extra money on the side? And for me, it was YouTube and affiliate marketing. The Amazon influencer program and being an Amazon creator didn't even exist, I don't think, in 2014. But nevertheless, kind of a similar opportunity. And I'll never forget, because always in November and December, a lot of times I was earning $100 to $200 in affiliate marketing the other months of the year. But I would go over $1,000 in 1 month. That would from November and December in particular, because of the season. And not just because of my efforts, certainly because of those as well, because of strategic content, because of the content calendar, but also you want to be at the right place at the right time. You don't want to be swimming against the current. You want the current to be carrying you. And I look back on those times, and that's the point of this episode. And I hope listeners think, okay, this is a very strategic time that could be meaningful for your family. And if you want more help with that too, again, you could check out, of course, Kathleen's YouTube channel, as well as her program. And we'll link up everything in the show notes as well. But just give us a final parting word, maybe as you think back to your story in previous holiday seasons, just kind of landing the plane on just the mindset going forward to maximize these coming weeks and months.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is what we hit on first is just planning ahead, because as a content creator, especially with Amazon, right? My entire office right now is surrounded with items that I still need to create shoppable videos for, with kids and a dog and homes and all that. There's always stuff that I can be creating for. And it used to keep me up at night thinking like, oh my gosh, I should have done those videos because I could have, made more money. And so, now I just kind of accept, right? I plan ahead. And as long as I hit the targets, I try not to stress and be anxious about there's always more you can do, because there is always going to be more you can do. And you just have to get in that right mindset of, hey, there's always more I can do for work, but right now I'm going to be present with my family, or right now I'm going to make some time for my friends, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed, especially, when you can always be working. And so I would say just look to have that balance, and don't drive yourself nuts trying to make all this content, for hours and hours every day, but plan ahead so that you feel good about your content calendar and execute it, and know that Q4 will be on your side as long as you stick to your plan.